Every once in a while, you just have to treat yourself. And today we are doing just that with an indulgent breakfast or brunch treat called pain perdu, which means in English, lost bread, or French toast. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. If this is your first time tuning in, let us know you're out there by giving us a big thumbs up below, and then hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss a video. Now, let's start cooking. So let's talk about pain perdu. So the actual translation of pain perdu means lost bread or stale bread. And today we are doing a very special version of this because we have some day-old artisan brioche bread. You can see it's nice and thick. It's kind of like Texas toast. It's got a little bit of a sweeter batter to it, but it's been sitting out for a couple of days, and you really want to use stale bread. I can't stress that point enough, because once you cook this, you want to, if your bread is fresh, it doesn't cook properly in the center. So you want to make sure that you have stale bread. So our ingredients, of course, are our bread. And then I've got about a cup of milk, and then I've got about a half cup of heavy cream. And nothing light here, use the real thing. Use whole milk and use heavy whipping cream. And then our seasonings today are going to be just a little bit of brown sugar. I've got about a teaspoon of brown sugar. I've got about a quarter teaspoon of actual vanilla seeds, or the seeds from the vanilla bean. If you can also find this sometimes just sold as vanilla seeds, but if you can't find that, get a vanilla bean and just scrape it with the back of your knife and use that. So we've mixed a little bit of that in here, and about a quarter cup of cinnamon as well. And I'm using freshly ground cinnamon. So you could certainly use ground cinnamon from a package, but it's really better if you grind it yourself in your coffee grinder or your spice grinder, just because the flavor is so much fresher and just so much brighter. And I've got some fairly small eggs here, so we're using 3 eggs today. You could use 2 eggs if you've got large ones. That's our mixture for our French toast. And then we are going to top this with balsamic strawberries. And balsamic strawberries we've got some fresh strawberries here. We're going to mix a little bit of aged balsamic, a little bit of sugar, really only about a teaspoon of sugar. And the sugar is not to sweeten the strawberries. You really should start with fresh strawberries that are nice and sweet. The sugar is to help in breaking down the sugar content of the strawberries. So to do that, we are just going to drizzle some of our balsamic vinegar over, and it doesn't take a lot. And we're going to add just a little bit of our sugar, probably about a teaspoon of the sugar. And we're going to grind in we're going to use a little bit of freshly ground black pepper. Believe it or not, black pepper is a great ingredient for this. And so those are going to macerate, or macerate is what you do with fruit instead of marinate. So these are just going to macerate while we prepare our French toast. And then we're going to finish it with a little bit of toasted pecans and some grated lemon zest. So those are our ingredients. Let's start cooking. All right, to get started with our mixture, the first thing we'll do is add our eggs. And I like to crack the eggs away from the actual bowl that you're putting them in, so that you don't run too big of a risk of actually getting shell in your mixture. And we'll now just add our milk. And our cream to our mixture. Look at that nice heavy cream. And our spice mix. And again, I gave you dimensions for the spice mix, but seriously, it can be, you know, at your discretion. If you like a little bit more cinnamon or a little bit less or a little bit more brown sugar, you can certainly do that. So that is our mixture, and we are ready to start cooking. So what I'm going to do is we'll dunk the bread slices in the milk just before we put them in our pan. All right, to get started with our French toast, we're just going to heat our skillet up, and I'm going to add probably about 30 grams of butter just to get it melted. And what we want to do is, and I said 30 grams, probably about a tablespoon and a half or close to 2 tablespoons of butter, really just to get our skillet bottom coated. And once this starts to foam up, then we'll add our bread. So let's just get our bread soaking, and I'm going to do 3 at a time in this mix. So we've got our bread in the mix here, and we'll just let those go while our butter is starting to foam up, and we'll just get it nice and well distributed. And we do want to get our pan quite hot, and then once we put the bread in, then we'll be able to turn our pan down just a little bit. I'm going to just go ahead and take this extra out because we don't need it right now. So now, as you can see, that butter is starting to foam up a little bit, and we will just wait until it's nice and foamy all over. Okay, so once our butter is foaming and the pan starts sizzling, now we will add our bread. And really, it's very helpful to have a nice soft spatula to do this part with, because of course the bread starts kind of falling apart if you don't. All right, so there's our first 3. And we will let those cook. We want to make sure that we cook this and really get a nice browning on the bread. So we'll let this go. And my heat is on high right now. And we really I want to make sure that my butter is well distributed. So we're just going to let this go now for probably a good 3 to 4 minutes. We want the goal at this point is to form a little bit of a crust and to start browning the backside of our bread. Okay, just taking a little check. All right, it's looking good. Now we still want to get a little bit more browning than that, but that will work fine. We'll let the other 2 go a little bit longer. So what we'll do is we take our bread out, is we'll use just another little casserole dish that we've had warming in the oven, and that will hold our French toast. And let's look at the other 2. There we go. That's the nice color that we want. Beautiful. Now, every once in a while, you want to just reach over and turn your strawberries just to make sure that everyone is getting some of that nice seasoning. And I'm going to go and turn over the first slice, see if we can get a little bit more browning on it. And that is exactly what we want. Okay, as these get ready, we will go ahead and take our pan out, and I'm going to pull this main pan, I'm going to pull our skillet off the heat so that our butter does not brown too much. There we go. All right, and we'll just let those stay warm in the oven. And now we can go back in with a little bit more butter and make sure it's nice and foamy. And this will, of course, take a little bit less time. And while that's foaming, we will soak our bread. There we go. And in with number 3. Now, the one thing that I can say about French toast is, you know, if you had it when you were growing up and you had just a super sweet version of it, it doesn't have to be that sweet. As you observed, we didn't add very much sugar to this. For one thing, we've got brioche bread, which, by the way, this works great with Texas toast as well. And if you use Texas toast, you may want to add just a little bit more brown sugar to it to bring out a little bit of sweetness. But it doesn't have to be super sweet because you're going to finish it with either, like today, we're doing some balsamic strawberries, which will be quite sweet as we are macerating those. Or you can use maple syrup or honey, you know, however you'd like to finish them. This also makes a great savory dish as well. You just omit the sugars, and you can finish them with, you know, with some chives, with some creme fraiche, with some just heavy cream, that kind of thing, and would make a really nice savory dish as well. Okay, I think we are good to go, and we'll add these to the mix. Beautiful. And there we have it, our French toast or pain perdu. Okay, our French toast or our pain perdu is ready, and let's just serve it up. Look at that. Just some beautiful texture to this bread. Oh, nice. And now let's just add a little bit of our strawberries. Oh, you just can't go wrong with this. All right. And we'll grate some of our lemon zest over. And this lemon zest is just wonderful. It just is a great to brighten the flavor of everything. And then we'll finish it with some of our toasted pecans. All right. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to dig in. Finally, it's time to give this a try. So I've added just a little bit of just some strawberry jam that I've made, which, by the way, if you have some leftover strawberries, it's very simple. Just put your strawberries in a pot, sprinkle a little bit of sugar on them, and just cook them down for 15-20 minutes till they start to kind of disintegrate, and then you can just mash them, and you've got strawberry jam. All right, so it's really wonderful. I mean, you know, this could be a breakfast, it can be a brunch, this could even be dessert. It's a fantastic dessert. And you know, with the balsamic strawberries, you've got some depth of flavor that you wouldn't normally have with just, you know, some syrup or butter or something like that. Wonderful flavor. And the lemon zest really serves to brighten it up a little bit. So there you go. I mean, you know, this is just it's a little bit of an indulgent treat if you don't normally eat bread. But every once in a while, when you want to treat yourself, give it a try. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, hit the like button down below to give us a thumbs up. Make sure and subscribe to our channel and ring that bell when you subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.